Welcome back. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has changed his mind on the House's continuing resolution. Now he says he will vote to keep the government funded through September and avert a midnight shutdown of the government on Friday night. This just one day after saying Democrats were united against the measure. Schumer arguing that a shutdown would further empower President Trump and empower Elon Musk. Watch this.
To have the conflict on the best ground we have, summed up in a sentence, that they're making the middle class pay for tax cuts for billionaires, it's much, much better not to be in the middle of a shutdown, which to divert people from the #1 issue we have against these people, which is not only all these cuts, but they're ruining democracy.
It's really not good to see the head of the Democrats in the Senate cursing about their colleagues on the right. I mean, earlier that day, Trump rallied against the shutdown. He voiced his concern for the economy and the American people. Here's the president. Watch.
Well, if they do a shutdown, and ultimately that might lead to very, very high taxes. We're talking about getting to work immediately on the greatest tax bill ever passed. That was the one we did. It was a renewal, and it's an addition to it. And we're going to cut people's taxes. And if we don't open, the Democrats are stopping all of these good things that we're providing. They would really be taking away a lot from our country and from the people of our country.
Well, it's pretty clear that the Democrats are in panic mode given Trump's success. It's sparking infighting among Democrats. New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand reportedly screaming at her colleagues during a private lunch. She was heard down the hall. Apparently, she was screaming loud enough to be heard through the thick wood doors. Fellow Democrats also reportedly are now pushing New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to primary Schumer. They're upset that he's going to vote yes and keep the government open. Joining me now is Texas Congressman Chip Roy. He's a member of the House Budget Committee. Congressman, have you been privy to any of this infighting there? What's going on in Washington? Chip Roy looks like his shot is frozen. We're going to get back to Chip Roy in a moment. But certainly you don't want to see this kind of, the sausage being made, if you will, in plain sight. Chip Roy back with us. Congressman, you with me? Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. We are going to fix this issue and come back to it. But let me get your take, Ashley, on what's going on in Washington here, given the fact that we're seeing infighting among the Democrats now.
Absolutely. I do want to say on the Gillibrand screaming, she was actually screaming to support the bill, saying that this would be worse off for Democrats if there was a shutdown. Listen, the vote starts today around 1:15 on cloture to see if we can get through that first, and then obviously later this evening will be the actual vote to not shut down the government. But Schumer was painted in a really, really, really bad spot, and he will continue to be. The Republicans won this battle and won the conversation about who was responsible for a shutdown if there was one. And so he had to do this. Obviously, the progressives on the left are going after him and will continue to go after him. But he's taking the fall because I think the alternative would have been much worse for Democrats.
And you're saying that Kirsten Gillibrand was yelling because she was trying to get through to them to say, you have to vote yes. So Schumer took her advice then.
There's several of them that are. Obviously, the senators that are more progressive on the left are saying, no, you have to fight. I mean, the House being angry at Schumer right now, AOC threatening maybe that she'll run. I mean, who knows? No one understands that the president and Leader Thune, as well as the speaker, did a very good job leading up to this, saying if there's a shutdown, this is all the Democrats' fault. And
let's see if Chip Roy is with us here. Congressman, you with us?
Yeah, Maria, sorry. Hopefully you got me now.
Good. I'm glad to see you. You're a member of the House Budget Committee, Congressman, and I want to get your take on what's going on behind closed doors. Is it fair to say the government shutdown is off the table now?
Yeah, it sure looks like it. And this is what we predicted. Chuck Schumer, he's in a box because the Republicans led on this. We made very clear that we wanted to make sure we wanted to allow Elon, Doge, the president, Russ Vought to do their hard work of identifying all of the waste, fraud, and abuse in government that Democrats have been funding for all these years. Schumer was blustering. He was saying, oh, we're not going to do this. We're going to shut it down. We knew they couldn't do that because at the end of the day, they were stuck between empowering the president and Russ Vought to determine who the essential employees are and going through and doing what needed to be done if they shut down, or continuing to empower Elon and the president to do what they're doing through Doge. Either way, we're going to do our job. Democrats are in a box, and they're more concerned about continuing the wasteful spending than they are in guaranteeing that they deliver for the American people. So President Trump's doing the right thing. Republicans did the right thing. We put Democrats in a box.
Do you see part of your job to get back to pre-COVID spending? I know what happened during COVID. Joe Biden and the Democrats went absolutely nuts spending to the tune of $7 trillion, and they put everything under relief in, emergency measures because of COVID, but it was all climate change agenda spending. Can you get back to pre-COVID spending?
Yeah, Maria, that's the goal, and that's the conversations we're having with the White House. We were spending $4.5 trillion total before COVID. We're now spending $7 trillion, like you just said. And we can't continue to do that, or the inflation tax that is crippling the American people will, continue to make it hard for the hardworking American family to afford food, housing. The mortgage interests are high. The president knows this. He wants to make it to where hardworking American families can afford to live. That's why we've got to hold spending down, and that's what we just did by freezing spending for 6 months.
And you co-wrote an opinion piece for Fox Digital called "We Are Members of the House Freedom Caucus. The U.S. Must Choose Either $20 trillion in debt or Medicaid reform." In it, you argue skyrocketing Medicaid costs need to be a centerpiece of Doge cuts. Congressman, and therein lies the issue, okay? I mean, the Democrats say you're going to gut Medicaid and you're going to leave all of those people on the hook. You are the policy chair of the House Freedom Caucus. What are you planning on doing to Medicaid?
Yeah, well, importantly, it's really critical that people understand how Medicaid has been being scammed by the Democrats, particularly in California, to give money to able-bodied and to give money to illegal aliens rather than the people for whom it was originally intended. There was a great op-ed this week on Fox. My friends at Paragon and a place called Epic, they put it together, where they pointed out that California is gaming the system to take money from the federal government and give it to illegal aliens and give it to the able-bodied rather than those who are the most vulnerable. And that's to the tune of close to $1 trillion we could save over a decade if we were to address that and to address all of the improper payments, which are about 1 out of every $4 spent in Medicaid. So there's a lot we can do on waste, fraud, and abuse. And Maria, Medicaid is up $1 trillion just over the Biden administration if you look at the 10-year window. What I mean is the baseline in 2021 compared to the baseline in 2025 is $1 trillion increase. We must address that in the reconciliation package when we're moving tax relief, and that's incumbent upon Republicans. We've got to stop the inflation tax killing the American people, and Republicans have got the opportunity to lead, but we can't be afraid. This is the kind of health care reform we can start with and open the door to getting the prices of health care down. That's a big win, and help the president beat the Democrats who are scamming him and the American people and the federal government, like California raking in money. California spends more with federal dollars on Medicaid than the entire Florida budget, Maria.
Wow. Okay. Well, these are really important points that you make. Thank you very much for that amazing analysis. And with regard to the illegal immigrants, that's why the president is reportedly going to invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which allows him to fast track the deportations. We're talking about that with Pam Bondi coming up. The AG is here live. Let's take a short break, and it's great to see you, Congressman.